Then once I got an idea, why not take biscuits from the shop and stand there and sell it? Is not that an opportunity? That I could get a more sell out of my material? Just 10 minutes, lot of people coming out, I am standing at the small entrance and selling the biscuits, etc., etc. So I don't believe that somebody says, I don't get opportunity and otherwise I would have been this, that opportunity. Everyone gets. You do not have the ability to use it. That is important, and this ability could be developed. Friends in need is a friend indeed. Recognizing the values of the real friendship, like Mr. Chitnis. You know, he was my schoolmate, we were together. I used to play these balls. And my father and mother won't allow to bring that, they don't want me to play. So I used to keep these balls with my friend, Mr. D.S. Chitnis, who later on became sort of senior finance officer in Hindustan Antibiotics, etc. That time he was taking care of my balls, now he takes care of my money. Or whatever money I had got, number 1, number 2, etc., etc. We were discussing number 1 and number 2 just now we were sitting there. I still keep with him. So faith, good friends, faith in friends is another important aspect in a life. We can use it. Looking for the inspiration, studies in the I studied in the New English School, Raman Bagh. There I had a friend, Dr. Karnik, a very dedicated student and inspiration to study. I was an average student, very much average. But 1 year I decided I want to study hard and get first now. In New English School, Raman Bagh, all clever students used to be in B class. But I never got B class except in 5th standard when I was in A class. I studied hard, stood first in A class and got admission in 6th in B class. So I realized that time, if you struggle or if you desire to get something, you can achieve it, and that I achieved. Still I am academically not strong. I am reminded of my marks in English were 40, mark in SSC were 46-47%. Because average student, average brain, and used to do a lot of extracurricular activities like working in the shop, etc., etc. I used to be, right from my father's, another training I had from my father, to be useful to others. Even though my father was not very financially rich, whenever there is a priest of our Jain community used to come in Pune, he will go and serve him, look after him, and that kind of helping attitude I got from him. Once we went for when I was in school, we went for a trip, Aurangabad trip. And I had a friend, Mr. Dati, he just camera fell down. And then we pulled the train chain and train stopped after 2 kilometers. Then our teacher asked, he wanted to get down and go and get the camera. The teacher asked, is anybody wants to accompany him? I said, yes, I will go with him. So I went with him, the train went away, and after 8 hours there was a train. By that time we came together, and what a joy I had to be with him rather than going with other friends and enjoying. It is your mental attitude, what you enjoy. I enjoyed to be useful, and that helped me. That kind of a approach helped me throughout my life and helping me even today. Inspiration to pursue medicine. When I was in 10th standard, I had a typhoid fever. My family doctor, late Dr. V.R. Soman, used to come and look after me, and looking after financial condition, he never used to charge even his visit fees. And that inspired me to become a doctor. But my marks in SSC was 35-37%. Then I went to college. There was another incident, what I want to tell about what happened in my childhood. My mother had a problem and he had a hysterectomy was to be done. Dr. Soman took to Joshi Hospital. That time the present Joshi Hospital was a different one, and there the charges were only 250 rupees for the total treatment. But even that we could not afford, and since that time I also decided not to become doctor but to look for the middle class and help for the middle class, because I realized even 250 rupees to pay for the total bill of a hysterectomy we did not have. This inspired me to continue work for the middle class. In college days, I joined Ferguson College. That time, getting admission at lower marks was not difficult, and there was not much of the tussle. So joining the Ferguson College in 12th standard in 1954, was involved a lot of extracurricular activities. I was a PT leader, I joined the Home Guards, then I was also contested FYOM election and was enjoying the work. My suddenly release to a bigger environment was so good that I got from 46% to 35% marks in the first year science. My goodness, that was my performance. But my career was made by my two friends. They are Dr. V.R. Vijay Raghunath Karnik, who is a pathologist in Pune, and Dr. Ashok Lakshman Kukde, who runs Vivekananda Hospital in the Latur for poor people, and who is in RSS as a very senior auspice bearer. I got in 12th standard, I became suddenly serious again. I stopped my extracurricular activities, and these two friends and myself, we used to study together. Whole year, I did not even wear a pajama and shirt. Only over a whole year I used pajama shirt, and I used to wear cap also that time. And that was my dress, and fully concentrated on studies, so much so that three of us got, even in B group, first class marks. That time to get first class marks in 12th standard was difficult for B group people. And we all, those who used to get first class in 12th standard B group, that is inter-science, that time it was inter-science, we three got a red carpet admission in the medical college, because at that time last admission was even for 53%. And I am grateful to these two friends, my lifetime. Because of them, I could complete my mission of being a doctor, but for them, my life would have been different, entirely different. I would have been selling something on the shop. I might have made 10 shops. I might have become a wholesale businessman, etc., etc. But the whole life was changed only because of friends. I realized the good friends, good circle around you is responsible, like good parents. Good circle, good friend around you is very much important and responsible for your growth. Thanks to these two friends, the other day we went for a 10-15 days tour and enjoyed the old memories again, and I was so grateful that that was a Guru Dakshana I could offer to my friends, and that is our relationship. Inspiration to take from orthopedics. There was one, when I was in BC Medical College, I was doing orthopedic term. People asked me, how did you take orthopedics? One lady who went for a marriage in the villages, because that time the mouth was, she wanted to eat bundi sa ladu. So motha hota, she opened the mouth and she could not close it. This joint got dislocated. And she came to the Sasuna hospital after 15 days. Our teacher took the clinic on that patient, said we'll need anesthesia to set, he taught us how to set it. And then, I'm always little different. So I asked Dr. Joshi that time, sir, can I try this? He laughed at me and said, okay. He gave me 2 gauze pieces. I pressed the mandible down and pushed it back, and it got set. My goodness, that was the day when I decided that I should become orthopedic surgeon. Otherwise, in childhood also, I was good in carpentry, and that orthopedics is dealing with the carpentry, channi, hathodi, and karwar. Here we used to have, and therefore I decided to become orthopedic surgeon. Postgraduate education, completed MBBS. I was never a topper, but I never took one day extra to complete my education. I completed my education in 4.5 years, could not get my marks were average. So I could not get the postgraduate houseman's post. So what I did, for 1 year, I worked with Dr. Koyaji. The senior people may remember here, there was Dr. Koyaji's clinic on Main Street, on 10 Mahatma Gandhi Road. And I work with him. I used to go to Dr. Koyaji's dispensary in the morning. I used to do studentship in orthopedic department with Dr. Tatke and Lokare, and in the evening I used to work with Dr. Koyaji, and he used to give me 250 rupees per month. And but more than that, what I learned from him when I met him for the first time, where to ask for a job, you know, at the age of 70, what book he was reading, you will be surprised. That year, anatomy is our basic book. Otherwise, in childhood also, I was good in carpentry, and that orthopedics is dealing with the carpentry, Channi, Hathodi and Karwar. Here we used to have, and therefore I decided to become orthopedic surgeon. Postgraduate education, completed MBBS. I was never a topper, but I never took one day extra to complete my education. I completed my education in 4.5 years, could not get my marks were average, so I could not get the postgraduate houseman's post. So what I did, for 1 year, I worked with Dr. Koyaji. The senior people may remember here, there was Dr. Koyaji's clinic on Main Street, on 10 Mahatma Gandhi Road, and I worked with him. I used to go to Dr. Koyaji's dispensary in the morning. I used to do studentship in orthopedic department with Dr. Tatke and Lokare, and in the evening I used to work with Dr. Koyaji, and he used to give me 250 rupees per month. And but more than that, what I learned from him when I met him for the first time, where to ask for a job, you know, at the age of 70, what book he was reading, you will be surprised. That year, anatomy is our basic book, which is studied by first year MBBS students, which is never required again in the life to practice. When I went to his office, the 100th edition of Gray's anatomy book was in his hand and he was reading. My goodness. You know, such a people when you meet around, and will you not get inspired? He, at the age of 70, was reading a rare book of anatomy, and that also impressed me a lot, and I learned a lot from that incidences. He used to see 1800 patients in one day, but 1800 right from morning to night, he used to sit in the corner, they used to queue. I learned one more thing from him. I saw with my own eyes one incident. That time Abasaheb Garware was his patient, and also his peon was also his patient. I saw Abasaheb Garware and his peon standing in one line next to each other, and he was examining and treating them. There I learned the dignity of a man, whether he is an industrialist or an ordinary peon, both should be treated equal, and that kind of things which I saw brought me humbleness more and more. As such, this humbleness I have taken mainly from my father, but when I used to see such incidences in my life, it went on multiplying. And then I will tell you one point later on, humbleness and success, what is the relation, I will tell you at the end. Dr. Koyaji used to give only 10-15 injections and used to do a lot of charity. What I did, my last month's salary, I also donated to his charity account, and he was so happy. It so happened, when I told him, sir, I want to do orthopedics, he said, I know Dr. R.N. Cooper in Bombay. He gave me a letter of introduction, and then I joined